I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate. We're back again with another preview video of a game that's running on Kickstarter. This is Wizards and Relics from Eternal Realms Games. Let's check it out on the table. Hey there guys, I have Wizards and Relics from Eternal Realms on the table here. This is a simple card game in which you will be playing a wizard and a relic, trying to battle it out with all the other players to see who is the most immortal wizard. And if you win the round, then your wizard goes into the Hall of Immortality. And if you get enough wizards in your Hall of Immortality, you win the game. Now, the way the game works is you will have a deck constructed of both wizards and relics that have different little icons of rarity to make sure that every player gets an equal number of rare cards and common cards. You do that both for wizards and relics. And then you draw 7 cards from your deck after you've shuffled all those cards together. You can do a semi-mulligan at the beginning of the game, shuffling back in a number of those 7 cards that you don't want, drawing back up to 7, and then the game begins. Each round you will turn over one of these shrine cards that gives certain benefits to you if you play that color of wizard. So for instance, this shrine right here would give +1 to any blue wizard that you played this round, but if you played a green wizard, you would get to draw 3 cards. And so all players benefit from that. You place that face up in the middle of the table. And then you would choose to play 1 wizard face down along with 1 relic face down. And you would play that as a pair right there. Let me tilt the camera down a little bit. There you guys go. Now, something else to take note is this right here, because the wizard that you play, the color, is important. Because green wizards gain advantage over blue wizards, and blue wizards gain advantage over red, and red gains advantage over green. As you can see, that's a little bit like rock, paper, scissors. And so those advantages are kept track using these little +1 cards. If I have advantage over another wizard, I get a +1. The other side of this is +3, so these can be stacked upon. Now, advantages don't stack. You only get that one time. You don't get it if there are more than 1 of the same color of wizard that are in the round. You just get the 1 benefit. However, as I've mentioned, you get a benefit from the shrines too, so that could stack. Now, after everybody has played both a wizard and a relic, starting with the master wizard, you would flip your wizard over first and then carry out any abilities on the card. Some of the wizards have abilities as well as the relics. Some of them don't. But if there is an ability, then you get to play that ability. You have to do it. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not such a good thing. But that would carry out and it would go around the board, everybody playing their wizard, and then you would play your relics. And some of the relics have abilities as well, and you would carry those out going around the table. And essentially, you add up the numbers on the wizards and relics, as well as any advantages that you might have received because of the colors of wizards that you played, as well as any advantages that you received from the shrines that you were at. Whoever has the higher number is the winner for that round, and that wizard goes into their Hall of Immortality. Then, all the cards would be discarded except the winning wizard could choose to take one of the relics from one of the losing players and add it to their hand. They don't have to do that, but if there was one out there that they really liked, they could take it, and that would go into their hand, and all players would discard down to 7 cards if they had any extra over 7. The winning wizard would not get to draw a card if they took a relic from one of the other players. If they did not take a relic from one of the other players, then they would get to draw a card from their deck. All of the losing players would get to draw 2 cards from their deck. So if you lose, then you get more cards in your hand, and hopefully those additional cards will help you win the next round. If you ever run out of cards in your hand, or if you have no wizards or have no relics, then some special things happen. If you have no more cards in your hand, or only 1 card in your hand, then you get to refresh and draw back up to 7. minus however many wizards you have in your Hall of Immortality. So if I have 2 in my Hall of Immortality, then I would only draw 5 cards. So the game gets a little bit more difficult for those that are winning and running away with it. Kind of keeps them from completely running away with it. If you have no wizards or have no relics, any combination of the sort, then you can totally discard your hand, shuffle it back into your deck, draw back up to 7, because obviously you have to have both wizards and relics to play the game. The game continues until a certain number of wizards are in one player's Hall of Immortality, and when they have reached that number, they are the winner, and that is how you play Wizards and Relics. All right, so we're back, and we're going to share a little bit on this game real quick. Wizards and Relics, as you guys saw in the rules video there, it's a simple card game that involves a little bit of rock, paper, scissors type mechanics to it. It has a lot of different things that can change at the drop of a hat with the shrine cards and the element card, or the relic cards, excuse me. There's a lot of zaniness that goes into that really kind of just doesn't play too deep into strategy. It's all about kind of just going with the flow with this game.
Yeah.
Sam, what kind of feelings do you get from that whenever you're playing that kind of game?
It's fun. I think it's freestyle is kind of hard for me. I want to know like exactly what I'm supposed to do, and you kind of have a lot of freedom in this game, I think. So it can be a little difficult for non-gamers, I think, but it was fun, especially playing with a group of 4, which is what we did. I think that's, a good number of people to play with.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a game that you'll want to play with more people than fewer people, just because of the different ways in which the cards can bounce off of one another and change everything up. More chaos. There's a lot of chaos in this game. I think that's a good word for it, is chaos. As a non-gamer, Sam, is that something that you can kind of get with and kind of flow with the chaos?
It took me some time, for sure, but the more I played it and the more I started to kind of get it, it was just one of those games that's kind of slow to get the hang of, I think, especially when you're just not used to playing games as much as Lance and the other people that we played with. I'm not the quickest at picking up a new game. But once you did, you got the hang of it, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Real quick, we took out some of the cards, some of our favorite cards from the game, because one of the really cool things about this game are the creative, funny little just the art and the names of the characters and items in the game.
I wasn't expecting it. When you hear Wizards and Relics, I thought serious, just very serious spells and wizards and things like that. But then you get these cards, and it kind of changes the theme of the game. It's
definitely not a game that takes itself too serious.
Yes.
For instance, this blue wizard here, Float. This red wizard, Artifact Snob. And probably my favorite, Mystic Joe. I like Mystic Joe. Yeah. He's probably my favorite. What did you find in there, Sam?
These are the relics, and one of my favorites is Ferdinand the Friendly Cape. And then the best one of the whole deck, absolutely nothing.
Literally
nothing.
Yeah.
Doesn't get you anything, doesn't do anything for you.
It's literally nothing.
Yes. And then there's just a potion, a blank scroll, and an extra arm.
Everybody needs an extra arm. Yeah.
So I thought that was a lot of fun in this game.
Yeah. Again, this is a game that you'll want to pull out, and it's a filler game that you can do in between your bigger, heavier games.
Yeah.
It can be one that I think that if you play it with the right people, with the right mindset, it can give you guys a big hoot, lots of laughs at the table with this one. And there is, I know we keep saying that there's a lot of chaos and maybe not a whole lot of strategy. There is some strategy with this game, and making sure to play off of the shrines and kind of judging what everybody else at the table is doing. And if you see that guy over there is constantly playing off of the shrine, maybe you'll want to do the opposite of that and get the advantage on him, especially if you have a good wizard that's in that color.
Yeah. Which I think is my problem as a non-gamer. I have a hard time paying attention to what everybody else is doing. I just know what I have. So you need to be able to engage with the other players, pay attention to what they're playing, and I think the game will go better for you.
Yeah. So Sam, is this a game that you would recommend playing with non-gamers?
think so. Maybe not as first time, non-gamer, but I think it's definitely something you can bring to the table. And depending on the people you're playing with, I think it's a great game to try.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's one that has its place in the gaming world, and at the right time with the right people, it can go over really well with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. All right, so this was Wizards and Relics from Eternal Realms Games. It's running on Kickstarter right now. We'll leave the link to the Kickstarter campaign in the description of the video down below. Check that out. I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate. We'll catch you next time.